Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another special episode of the Island Church Weekly podcast. This week, you're getting a 2-for-1 special. You're going to get 2 episodes of the podcast, mostly because there's just so much stuff going on that we could not possibly fit it into one episode. So, what we want to do is talk a little bit today about some really, really important events coming up in the life of our church, specifically around our kind of push for membership, some men's stuff kind of going on. So, Pastor Will, the floor is yours. I will just let you talk about some of the really important stuff that we have coming up that we wanted to highlight in this video. And then we'll obviously have another episode that we'll record later on. That's more of the kind of life of the church in the week.
Sounds good. Well, this coming Saturday, Matt, we've got Colonel Bob Rogers is going to be with us this Saturday and this Sunday. We're going to do a men's breakfast at 8 o'clock this coming Saturday. We're going to have a good manly type of breakfast. And so that'll be a good thing. We'll enjoy that together. And then after that, Colonel Rogers is going to speak to us basically about his faith and about his military career. He's quite a decorated person. He's not an accomplished person. He's not very public because of the types of things he was involved in, but all the way from the Vietnam War to advising presidents of the United States to he was the Army War Planner. He did missions and for the president and some special operations and just engaging things around the world, most of which just can't be talked about. But he just brings a wealth of experience from all of that. And then he actually served as the CFO, the vice president of a large Baptist organization. And so he has experience with that as well. And so he's going to be both doing the men's breakfast this coming Saturday. So I encourage you, invite the men, you men come, bring someone with you, and that'll be a good experience for them. And then he's actually going to be preaching for me on this coming Sunday. And he tells me I don't preach. Well, I mean, he doesn't preach. That's what he would say. But he does. He's spoken to some of the largest seminaries in the world. He's spoken in some large churches, and he's going to be with us. And so he's going to be sharing about first things first from his experience. And so I think that this is going to be a very, very good for us. And I think part of his talk will be on Saturday about just when God is in control of. He's giving your orders when God gives you your orders. As a parallel to his military experience. So I think that's going to be a great experience. So that's 8 o'clock this Saturday in our building. Come for breakfast. So invite a friend. That'll be a good thing. And then the following week, February 4th, Matt, we've been having so many guests, and I'll say it again in the later podcast that we're gonna shoot. But it's so many guests, we're actually going to add back a second worship service. We're going to go back to an 8:45 and a 10. So the time slots have not changed. Same 8:45, same 10. Yep. We're just going to change the focus of the 8:45 time to actually be a worship service. So if you're an early morning person, get up, join us 8:45. And also just invite some friends to that as well. It'll be a little bit more laid back than our 10 o'clock service. But when you start having guests on the front row of your one service,
you need more space.
You're trying to do something about that. Yeah. So, and then we've got, we could add something back in terms of School of Christian Living, in terms of an alternate time or a 10 o'clock time or something like that. The bank has given us a building again, or the association across the way. But we have so many different groups going on: the men's group, the women's group, the life groups that are going. People can find a way to get plugged in relationally, and so we think this is probably our best choice. So, awesome. 8 o'clock this Saturday, February 4th. We're adding a second worship service, do it at 8:45, and then, as you mentioned in your intro there, each year we encourage people in January to reaffirm their membership. We don't do blood covenants. We're not pricking fingers and swears and all this, but what we do is we have a ministry covenant and says we're going to try to operate and live our lives together so that we can enjoy church life around these 4 relational commitments, and then these 3 kind of commitments that we're going to grow in these areas in terms of how we connect in the church. And so I would just encourage people. It's pretty painless. If you've been a member before, sign the card, put it in, and says, "Hey, I'm in." But it also, I think it just does something for you. We can rely on our church membership and just become static in our faith and static in that and count on that. And really, the idea biblically of an inactive or unengaged church person doesn't make much sense biblically. There were very imperfect churches, right, in the New Testament. That's the reason Paul had to write all those letters correcting all those things. But we mutually commit to one another. And this, we just reaffirm that. And then if a person has been maybe coming a while and they say, hey, I think I want this to be my church. I want to commit. I want to grow here, and I want to help others grow. I want to give, and I want to serve, and I want to do all those kinds of things. Then they should consider sign up to be a new member, and then just have a conversation with me is all that would take, or maybe with Tom Crick, our associate pastor. So that'll be fine. So 3 big things.
Awesome.
Did you catch all that, Matt?
Yeah, big stuff coming up. So if you are looking to find out more about these events, what's going on, the best way to get more details is always to go to our website, islandchurchtv.com. If you click on the event section, you'll find a whole page that has all the details about these events, ways, if it's a registration event, you can register, but typically it's just a great place to go. And, I forgot, what time does that meet again? Go check out the website. That's always where you can go and find out more information. So, Pastor Will, thanks so much for joining us today for this special episode of the Island Church Weekly podcast. And we'll see everyone in just a few days for another episode that kind of recaps Sunday and everything that's been happening in the life of the church. Thanks so much, Pastor Will.